Ladies and gentlemen, we are live, baby. We are pushing off our plumbing, as it were. Clayton didn't push off his plumbing, and that's what got us into this mess. You know what I mean? All right, we've got a lot to get into today. Shall we start it? Let's do it in 3, 2, 1. Hey, folks, how are you? Good to see you. It's Dave Neal, stand-up comic, host of Bachelor Nation News, member of the Society of Professional Journalists here with a public live stream. We've already got 260-plus people in this chat. Do me a solid. I'm going to need you to hit the like button an odd number of times. You can do it just one. That'll do, folks. Good internet today. And going to read your chat, your questions, your thoughts. Subscribers only can comment in the chat room, so if you haven't already, double check, make sure you are subscribed. And okay, we are going to have a hearing today. I guess not exactly the court hearing, but the judge will be meeting with Clayton's lawyer and Jane Doe's lawyer. And we're going to get into that. We've got someone heading to the courthouse right now to cover that. We'll be doing a conversation with Reality Steve while the proceedings are happening. We already have multiple very good stories if you are rooting for truth and for Clayton Echard. I know I've been accused from the accuser. I've been accused from the accuser. Can you believe it? She's accused me, along with a lot of other people, of injustice. The accuser, whose name we're going with as Janie Dodo Bird III, some want me to change the bird from the dodo bird to the swallow, but we're going to keep it at the dodo bird because it's a family show. Christine Cook says, Dave, how are you feeling? I'm feeling good. I've got my tight jeans on. I've got my new linen shirt on. It's Panama Jack, baby. We're good to go. We are ready. And yes, we are excited. We're excited for justice. Now, today is not the evidentiary hearing. That is set to be next week. The motion in the ocean by the Woodnick law firm is to try to get that extended so they can schedule that deposition. Well, we have breaking news. Would you like us to jump right into it? Let's jump into the breaking news to start off the show right now. Ladies and gentlemen of Bachelor Nation, members of the Society of Professional Journalists fan club, Janie Dodo Bird, the Swallow, the third, has just found out that the judge has denied her motion to dismiss and her motion for protective order. That's right, folks. We live in a world where the truth will be exposed, even if it might offend somebody. And the judge has denied several orders just to start the day before the conversation. The judge basically says this: all right, well, let's get this out of the way. The court case is happening. The court case is happening. Some kids got to run out, write it down. Quick, write it down. The court case is happening. I've got it. And then they got to run outside. They got to stick it in the window so the whole crowd can see, oh my gosh, it's the kid who gave us the information. The court case is happening. Paul Revere's on his horse that he probably bought off of Jane Doe, and he's like, the motions are denied. The motions are denied. Okay, anyway, you guys are there for it, and that's right. So, essentially, if we could just use this in graphic terms, the judge said, and then, of course, once you're done with the metaphorical nut sucking, let's get down to the truth, which is just all we want. And we can make jokes all we want, but we just want the truth. We've got Janie Dodo Bird's father writing on Facebook last night. Some are wondering if it was actually her writing on Facebook last night. In fact, I don't have it redacted to share with you, but I will read it from my amazing messages here. The father wrote, you know what? I will redact. No, I'm not going to redact it. The father wrote on Facebook, I continue to marvel. You know what? No, here, hold on a second. Let me get this to you guys here, and we will. I'll share it with you because it's important to know that a lot of people don't believe that this actually was the father here. Again, the court case is the conversation that they're about to have is in 25 minutes, and we'll have notes on what actually goes down and all of that jazz. But first, I wanted to get to what the Daddy Dodo Bird had actually said. I'm having a hard time finding it. There it is. So let me just edit out his name real quick here. But again, he's allowed to post whatever the hell he wants. I just don't want to share his name because it really doesn't matter. So here it is. I'm going to, no, you know what? I'm not going to share it because, hold on. I'm doing this live on the fly. Let's see if we can sort of get some, okay. Hold on, folks. I'm sending it to myself. Live on the fly, we're redacting this. And again, this is what the father said last night in preparation, I guess, for today. Although I have to tell you, we don't know if it's her father or her running her account. No one really knows at this point. But this is what he had to say. Hold on, moving her name. Again, legally, I don't have to move her name. It's just, as I said before, I've been drinking iced coffee, which I really enjoy. And I'd hate to puke that up by... sometimes that's just what happens. So anyway, give me a second. All right, geez, I'm all over the place. And we are going to get this posted here. So the father essentially goes on Facebook and shares this. I continue to marvel at the strength and resiliency of our young daughter, Janie Dodo Bird, the swallow third, in the face of online... By the way, swallow is just a bird. In the face of online cyberbullies. Crow didn't make really sense. I wanted to share her recent piece on medium.com with our extended family of listeners who've known of Dodo from the day she was born. She posted this on Valentine's Day, a day on which some months ago we expected her to give birth. Now, here's what's interesting. We are getting insane level of pushback from that post that he made. Insane level of pushback. Again, I'm going to share some of that for you right now. I'm actually stalling because I thought we were going to be talking to our reporter on the streets, but I'm just delaying because there's been a few little shifts going on here. So I'm going to share with you, again, a redacted version of some of the responses coming in. People mean well, and this is what kind of stinks is that people mean well, and yet they, they're kind of being taken advantage of. They're being taken advantage of, and I have some very interesting information to share with you regarding this sort of attempt to get the messaging, the attempt by Jane's father to get the messaging out there that she's this innocent person, the victim of cruel and, all of this stuff. I just want you guys to know what we all know, which is that that's just not going to fly. We're going to continue to share the actual truth. They can do their research. Now, I know sometimes when you say, I did my research, that's like, whatever. Read the court documents. La Jourdain with a $5 super chat. My Davis streaming senses were tingling, and I got here just in time. Thank you for covering this. Well, thank you so much for the super chat. I really appreciate that. Thank you. You are very kind to send that in. We appreciate that. That'll buy us another coffee and that'll get us through another day. So yes, the Lord's work has been done, not by someone vilifying Jane Doe, but just to say, look, she's the scammer. She's done this. Go look for yourself. In December, when Daddy Dodo shared his support for Jane Doe, there were former employees and coworkers and peers and people that commented, and this is interesting what I'm about to tell you. There are former workers, employees, and colleagues that commented on Daddy Dodo's post in support of him. After, my guess is, doing light research, they switched sides. And you know how I know that? Because they have spoken to me. That's right. The only people here that are in support of Jane Doe seem to be those that have no idea what actually went down. And I would be in support of her too. Cyber bullies suck. They're the worst. We don't want anyone to have to deal with that. Hold on. I am sending some people to, hold on one second. You can Zoom in or just phone call. All right. We're going to talk to some folks as we get started. Just let me know when you can. All right. So I've got someone coming to the courthouse. I think there are multiple courthouses and maybe it got moved or something happened. We'll have to find out what's going on. I mean, I've got motion at my door. Is it the police? No, the police haven't arrived at the door. It's just a lady walking by. Although we did contact our local sheriff's department and brought them sweets, because who doesn't love sweets? And just had to say, look, I now live in Tennessee. in the Nashville area, and I need the police office to know that they may receive phone calls about me. Maybe it'll be today. But either way, when they do get a phone call, there's this evil YouTuber who's saying all of these crazy things. I want them to know when they Google me and see what's going on that we are just doing our work here, journalistic work, to provide truth to the masses, to as many people that can hear about this conversation as possible. Amy said, I got blocked the first time Janie posted on her dad's Facebook because I reached out with a laughing emoji. Yeah, actually, we have someone in our chat, I believe even in our Patreon, that, and by the way, nobody on Patreon or YouTube, please don't put your name as theirs. We actually got a comment from my wife got a comment from someone on YouTube that was Jane Doe's mom's name, and she freaked out. She was like, oh my gosh, am I being harassed by Jane Doe's mom? I was like, it's probably just one of our audience members, but I don't really know who it is, but just please, by all means, Jane Doe's mom can watch our vlog channel all you want. I'll even give you the baby registry if you want. We got a new super chat that just flew in. Sorry, I can't get to all of you guys. Oh, $10 from Michelle. Thank you so much. Again, we are paying, not that they asked for any money, but we have somebody who's going to the courthouse, so we will be paying them for their time. Of course, it was important to get somebody boots on the ground there. They're actually wearing a Some Podcaster merchandise shirt. You guys might know this, which is so funny. They said they got recognized by a security guard. So again, how funny is that? Here's our, this is Maybe I'll See You at Hometowns. That's different merch, but let's go to it. Of course, after Nick Viall refused to say our name on his podcast, I don't think Nick will be covering this today, but we do appreciate those that have, purchased this shirt. It was a pretty solid bump, actually, for our monthly revenue. We don't normally make any money off of our merchandise, but so many people came in, and it's actually a great design. So shout out to our friend there who made that design. Absolutely amazing. Sarah Bodie with a $2 super chat. Dave's biggest live yet. Thank you, Sarah. I appreciate it. Yeah, we're hovering just over 900 people in the chat. Again, we are going to get to this case as soon as we have information. So we're just going to talk and speculate and all that jazz. All right, let's so I think we're going to get several different people to call in. I'm waiting. Again, the court case starts in 16 minutes, and my court reporter hasn't let me know yet, but I do believe she's aware of where she's going. The name's JK said, can't wait for this Delulu to end, but this is so entertaining. Look, multiple things can be true. It can be entertaining, and it can also be, it can be entertaining, and it can also be sort of sad and a pain. And it can be tough on Jane. Truth can be tough here. I just think, when people live in their own reality, when exposed to the reality of others, I don't think she understood that Reddit wasn't just going to believe what she had to say. We always say believe people. We want to believe people. We want to believe women. We want to believe people. Well, we've chosen to believe all of the victims because their evidence makes so much more sense than hers. Jackie's Mouth with a $2 super chat. Thank you, Jackie. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. Whichever. So I'm going to have several people calling in here, and we're going to just chat with them. All right, we are outside the courthouse. Hold on, we're going to share some photos with you guys. Outside the courthouse right now is our court reporter here. So let's go to where they will be, and let's see if we can get this person. So here it is, folks. That's the courthouse. It looks like a beautiful day happening over there. Very nice day. We've got a live images here. Can you call? Let's see. See if we can get our reporter who's going in. Let's see here. Why doesn't she just admit she was wrong and pay his attorney's fees? This would all go away. Well, Pammy, I don't even think it's about money at this point for her. She cannot change her thoughts here. Brianne Wilson with a $5 super chat for any new peeps watching. The Justice for Clayton Wiki is a great place to catch up for a quick recap. Yes, we will. Let's go to Justice for Clayton Wiki. Has all of the court documents that you need to know. Everyone from, oh, look at this, Law Talk with Mike, Justice for Clayton, Dave. So when you click on Dave Neal, it'll share the timeline of events. Oh, this is great. I've never seen this before. So it'll have all of the links to the court documents. On November 1st, Jane Doe filed for a temporary restraining order against Dave Neal, and the TRO is denied. They even give the source there, which is very good. Oh, they even have my video.
It's Dave Neal,
being taken to court there. Hold on, there it is. So you can see this dates back. I mean, we're going back virtually half a year. This court case over and over and over again. Ashton K said, watching Dave turn into a legit court journalist live is wild. Well, I mean, we're just doing the work that others couldn't do. Let me let's call our court reporter. She's going by the name of Dana. So everyone give Dana a shout out. Let's get into the phone call.
Hello, Dave.
Dana, how are you?
I am good. I have been through 2 frisks.
Oh, you've had multiple frisks? Wow.
Yes, but nothing was found. I'm allowed in.
Did you have to pay extra for the frisk, or did that come complimentary?
That was complimentary. It was very nice of them.
Oh, very nice. And are you in the courthouse right now?
I am sitting outside of the room as we speak.
Okay, who do we have? Do we know who's there yet? Has anyone showed up?
Well, I actually just introduced myself to the Bachelor.
Oh, Clayton's
shook his
there.
hand. He is here.
Hold on, I
showed him my
breaking news button here. This is a big deal.
Yeah. Showed him my T-shirt.
Did Clayton frisk you? Did that happen too?
No.
Well, I mean, with consent, of course.
He is a complete gentleman.
He's a big guy. Yeah. I'm actually going to be doing a show. Hopefully Clayton will be on the show, believe it or not, March 28th. So just over a month from now. Hopefully you can come there.
I will try to come because that sounds like a lot of fun.
Oh, it's going to be fun. Maybe Clayton will open up the pool party afterwards. So do we have Jane Doe there?
I walked past her before I even saw him.
No way.
Yep, she is here.
Any reaction to your Dave Neal shirt, or?
She was not looking up. She was looking at her phone. She's probably reading Reddit right now.
Do you think maybe she's deleting the comments from her dad's Facebook? Maybe. So here's what I would like to get. Could you let us know if she's on her phone during the court hearing? Because I would like to know who's deleting the comments from her dad's Facebook. And boy, wouldn't it be interesting if in the next half hour, there are no deleting of the comments on his public Facebook. That would be fascinating, wouldn't it?
It would. I could check for myself, but I got blocked from that. So,
well, join the club. So yeah, frisky business for sure. All right. Well, I don't want to keep you, but please enjoy the public discourse. And is there anything else you want to tell us here? We've got almost about 1,000 people, over 1,000 people listening.
No, this is, a very small court complex here. This is in the northeast part of Phoenix. Makes more sense for where I would imagine that Clayton and JD live. And it's pretty quiet here. So it'll be interesting.
What's the ambience of the room? Is it a small little room, or is there any windows or any good decor?
I haven't gone into the room yet, so I will text you, Dave, as soon as I'm in and let you know what it's like. I won't be allowed to take photos or recordings in the room, but I'll text you some description.
Well, we will be waiting with bated breath. And do me a favor, just call us as soon as you can afterwards and let us know the news. We're already operating off of good news from the judge. The judge has denied the motion to dismiss and has also denied Jane Doe's motion to quash her deposition. So it only seems fair at this point that they're going to extend the hearing to give time to get this deposition done. But yeah, by all means, call us as soon as you can, and then we're all going to take you out to a nice lunch after this. We appreciate your time.
Oh, yeah. I'm looking forward to that. This is going to be fun. Well, I better go walk into that courtroom and get a good seat so I can see what I want to see.
Yes, please. Have fun, and we'll see you in a minute.
Okay, thanks.
All right, thank you so much. Folks, that was Dana calling in from Phoenix, Arizona. Yes, that's right. We're gonna hook Dana up with some very nice lunch, maybe at a choice restaurant of her choosing here. Dana, fellow reporter in the field, says, I can't believe this. She actually met Clayton Echard and walked by Jane Doe. Ladies and gentlemen, this is all happening live. 1,000 people in the chat, folks. Hit the like button if you haven't already. Here's what's going to go down. We are actually going to be getting some conversations in. Oh, I got a call from the wife. Amazing. I'm live with huge audience. So I'm going to be getting some interviews in. I've got my interview station set up right here. Oh, we have another super chat, $5 from Sarah. Kate said, never believed her from the very beginning when I read her Medium article about how she reached out to his parents. Yeah, I understand. Yes, let's all give Dana a thanks. Dana is, of course, the name I chose, and I'll tell you why. I chose the name Dana because when it comes to the law, I've just, for a long time, I tell you what, I have had a crush on the one and only Dana Scully, of course, from X-Files. There's just something about a lady in a pantsuit. I tell you what, that made the Hillary Clinton presidential campaign very tough on me. All right, but anyway, yes, Dana Scully is, of course, FBI agent from the X-Files, played by Gillian Anderson. My first crush, love a lady in a trench coat. So anyway, we are referring to our court reporter as Dana, just to keep her name anonymous. Oh, she's telling me no windows. Ladies and gentlemen, no windows. All right, so no way to escape, no windows. And again, I don't know if we'll get love the info. Please share with us. So again, folks, we're getting Dana, court reporter Dana, giving all of the info right now. And we are expecting a couple Skype sessions here. I'm going to do a quick one with, let's say, can we do 11:40 instead? I'm going to push Reality Steve back here just so I can squeeze this in. And we should have, they have a 30-minute set, but we don't know how much time that will actually be. Courtney said, someone commented on the dad's post asking if they can contribute to the baby's funeral fund. Oh boy, this is just dark. Would love to see their response. Yes, so my question is, as the dad, of course, has been deleting these comments, or maybe Jane Doe has been deleting them, which again is not illegal if Jane Doe's deleting them. But wouldn't it be interesting if during the next 30 minutes or so, people that might want to share the truth do that? I don't think that's a sort of out of bounds to ask anyone to do. Again, we'll have to see how it all plays out. We have notes here. Clayton seems very happy and chatty. Clayton is happy and chatty. So let's just go, just in preparation for what might be a joyous day for Clayton. Let's go over here to Clayton's page and make sure we're ready to dance with Clayton. As boy, I tell you what, dance has been quite the therapy for him. He's learning the Dougie, and we are learning to dig Clayton. Will the judge dismiss? Oh, will the judge dismiss? Will she have to depo? Will she have to depo? Let's see if she's... Okay, so anyway, we are here. We're having fun. Clayton happy and chatty. This is good information to have. I'd be happy and chatty if I were Clayton today too. The world of mischaracterization lifting off of his very strong shoulders, I might say. More super chats come in here. Pammy with $10, adding to Dana's lunch money. Have a margarita on me. How about that, folks? We've got a margarita on Pammy to Dana. The name's JK with $10. All right, you guys are absolutely taking care of Dana today. We're going to have to report on which margarita she goes with. All right. You know what? She's giving me Jane Doe's outfit. I'm not, you know what? I'm not going to share it. It's nothing risque. It's very natural for the law. No one is sitting on Jane's side. That's the information we have. She's wearing, what you would wear, very, she, maybe dressed like, actually Wednesday. She's dressed like Wednesday. Maybe Christina Ricci as Wednesday. I feel like that's the look that she's kind of got going on. I don't know if she's got pigtails or what. I'm just saying you could probably picture that we've got sort of this sort of vibe happening here. Just a very solemn sort of outfit. And what's Clayton wearing? We need to know what Clayton's wearing. I'm guessing he's in a suit and tie. It doesn't matter. Teach me how to Dougie. Teach me. JCM said, Dana, the new hero of the case. Absolutely. And again, we have someone calling in right now. Let's see if we can get to this call here. I think if I assign it to guest one. Ladies and gentlemen, from the world of Bachelor, I actually need to switch here. Hold on, I'm switching audio. We've got Courtney Robertson. How are you, Courtney?
Hey, can you hear me?
I don't know if I have audio coming from you. Hold on. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
I don't know. We'll have to see in the chat. Hold on 1 second. I don't think I'm hearing anything from you. Do you know if you've got your audio on your end?
Let me see.
Let me just switch a few things here.
Let me get my computer.
I'm not hearing you, but we're going to get you going. You look beautiful this morning, Courtney. Glowing here in her third trimester. Output, let's switch to MacBook. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
I can't hear you.
Okay.
Can you guys hear Courtney?
Can you
You
hear
guys
me
can
now?
hear Courtney. All right, try it again.
I can hear you.
Okay, all right, there you are. All right, I can hear you now. Let's just make sure there's no echo. All right, can everyone hear it fine? There's no echo? I just want to make sure. Give us a pregnancy update, will you there? Oh, look at the merch shirt you're wearing. Show off your merch.
I need some of your merch. Love me some merch. Yeah, no, I'm good. I did my test yesterday. Baby's cooking right along. He's 3 pounds. Smokey's in the picture too, my cat. Sorry. Yeah, no, it's all good. I'm sure Tasha feels the same way. I'm like, okay, I'm ready. It's getting uncomfortable.
You are ready. So I don't know if I'll see you next month. You'll be pretty pregnant, but I'll be in town March 28th for my stand-up show.
Oh, I would love to. I want to come to your show.
There you go. Maybe you can be a part of it. I think we're going to do a Q&A with Clayton. We'd love to have you either during the show or after. We can.
Absolutely. Let me know. I'll be there. That'll be like a parents' night out.
Yeah, it'll be. We'll have. By the way, I'm going to give you the updates as they come in. So I don't know if you were listening. Clayton is in the courtroom. Jane Doe is also in the courtroom.
I'm surprised she showed up.
Yes. I think she had to show up. I was told beforehand she would be there. Zaddy Greg, aka Greg Woodnick, in a nice dark gray suit. No one is sitting on Jane's side. No family or friends. And my court reporter, we're calling her Dana, is one of 4 people sitting behind Clayton. Black t-shirt, black pants, and a suede jacket for Daddy Clayton.
Very dashing.
Would you have kept Clayton around if you were the Bachelorette?
I think so. He's tall. He's so tall. I'm a sucker for the tall guys.
Yeah. And your husband's got a good height to him.
Yeah, he does. That was like the first thing I asked him when we were messaging. I'm like, how tall are you? It's the worst when somebody lies. They're like, I'm 6 feet tall in my Crocs, and they show up and you're like,
Yeah.
Liar.
I have a new bit.
I'm also tall. No offense to any, but I'm like 5'9", and if you put me in heels, I'm over 6 feet tall.
Would I have been a no? I'm 5'10 and a half, 5'11 after yoga.
See? No, if you wear a nice little boot, you are.
So I gotta wear a boot. I gotta. Okay. All right. But if you saw me in sandals, it'd be a no-go. It'd be a no-go in sandals.
Yeah. Don't wear your mandals.
It's so funny when we went out to dinner when I was moving across the country. We had Clayton and Greg there, and they are both large men. I mean, Jane Doe is going after breeders. I mean, these men are breeders. Yeah.
Well, obviously, I was on a date once, and the guy said, "I think you're a breeder," and he asked if he had an extra 23andMe kit. He wanted to me to do it. I was like, this is a first date. I was like, I gotta get the hell out of here.
Yeah, that's a date 3 type of thing. Don't get the genetic test done right away.
I don't want you to get my DNA. That's just très bizarre. So I'm so excited. So she's there. What did I miss?
Not only is she there, she's actually staring at her phone, I'm being told. Hey, Janie, how are you? Good to see Clayton and Zaddy. Yeah, look alive. But you're the only the only thing alive with you right now is your. I can't even. I gotta be careful. Have you been surprised? I know your husband obviously is a power lawyer. Have you guys been surprised at that this case wasn't dismissed? I don't want any legal opinions, but just what as a fan
Right.
of Bachelor, what do you think?
So yeah, my husband is a prosecutor and he's been doing this for over 10 years. He's a criminal prosecutor and we have just been baffled by this case and following along. We've met Clayton, obviously, you know, my husband. He was actually in court today. He was downtown and he was going to try to pop in, but maybe next week he will if he can make it. But it's just, you know, our tax dollars and the money that's gone into it. You know, my friends have been affected, you being one of them. Clayton, who has probably, I mean, I can't imagine how much money he has spent in attorney's fees. And it just feels like the court system has failed in some way. And the fact that she's done this so many times, it's fascinating. I agree with you. This is like one of the biggest cases, but he thinks that she should be on the line. Like, he's like, she's a bully. He has a really good take on things, but he thinks that she should be on the line for paying for everybody's court fees.
Yeah, and that seems to be what the judge will be deciding on at the evidentiary hearing. And of course,
Right.
Greg Woodnick is going to cost a lot of money. I mean, you know, for all of the times she's emailed him and all the times he's had to go back with her lawyers, we're getting word that her lawyers have not necessarily been cooperative. And maybe that's in part because they're not billing, you know, maybe they're doing like as the least amount they can, knowing they're not making any money off of this. You know, will she pay? Now, she obviously mentioned when she was using bully tactics to Clayton and to Greg, she mentioned, I have unlimited resources. Here's what I want Jane Doe to know, because we know she'll be listening. I don't have maybe the bank account she has, but I've got an audience that if sued for defamation will go to the edges of the earth for me to make sure that we fight this to its fullest extent. And I've had to look at that and go, all right, can I get access to the $250,000 that might have to be used to, I mean, it sounds crazy to say, just to prove the truth. She keeps threatening up until this week that she will sue me for defamation. And I just need to try to convince her that's not wise. Defamation will bring out all of the skeletons. So she's been able to sort of keep the skeletons in different closets. Here's the Greg thing. Here's the Mike thing. Here's the Clayton thing. Andrew never talked. This person never talked. Matthew never talked. But all together in a defamation case, I've talked about all of these people. They all will surface. The whole building.
She has no case against you, though. She's not wise to do that. She can't see, and I've talked to my husband at length about it. You haven't done anything illegal. You're covering a public case.
Yeah, and now
because she doesn't like what you're saying doesn't mean that you can just go get Sue happy and try to control the narrative. It's like.
I have breaking news. Can we get to the breaking news?
Tell me.
All right, here it comes, folks. We have 1,300 people in the chat. Let me go to the breaking news button. Ladies and gentlemen, I have goosebumps as I report this. Breaking news. The motion to continue has been granted. The motion for a longer hearing, which was set for 45 minutes to 2 hours, has been granted, folks. This is big news. The new hearing will be June 10th, 8:45 a.m. Who's going to Phoenix, baby? June 10th.
Go!
June 10th. This is big. I mean, 5 minutes into the hearing, the judge says, I don't want to waste any time. We're going to do this on June 10th. Get your fucking depositions done. Let's see. We're going to have to find out whether or not, other details. Will there be fines on Jane Doe if she doesn't do her deposition? We're already getting chatter that she's using the death threat that was made against her as some sort of reason to not continue. Again, we want nothing to do. While we have the biggest audience we've ever had on our live stream, I just want people to know we want no violence, whether physical, no contact whatsoever with Jane Doe. That's not the point. I can't control crazy people on the internet, but I can continue to say that is not cool. That is illegal. Anyone who threatens Jane Doe, I hope the FBI looks into it as much as the FBI has looked into me. I hope that bandwidth goes into making sure she's allowed her day in court as much as we believe she's in the wrong here, and not to use these death threats against us, who's just doing our jobs. How about this crazy news?
Unbelievable.
I mean, what can we say? We're going to get more information as it comes out. But, oh boy, so maybe, I don't know, that might be too early to fly with Tasha. We'll have a 2-month-old, but I can't see why I won't fly in for that. There's flights that can get me into Phoenix and back same day. So maybe I'll have to come with some Uncle Dave gifts for your new baby. Again,
bring the baby. I'll watch the baby. Me and Tasha can have a date. Yeah.
Will that be too soon, traveling with a 6-week-old?
Yeah, it might be a little too soon.
Might be a little too soon. We'll have to see. If not, we'll have to travel, hopefully, for the Reality Steve's party. I'm going to get him on the line. But
is he on the line? I thought he was going to join.
He's going to join me in 3 minutes here. I can't.
I should let you go because I don't want to cramp your style. Thanks for letting me jump on. I've been fascinated by this. I'm so stoked for him. And let's see if she shows. She has to show up. I asked my husband about that, and he said, "Oh, they'll probably fine her if she doesn't."
Yeah, and that'll be interesting if they do like a daily fine. Now, if I were her, just go to the deposition and plead the fifth. I mean, it's not going to look good for her, but the dumbest thing ever happened where she refused to go to the deposition, and then they wanted to depose Clayton. He's like, "I'll show up." I mean, it looks so bad for her. Probably the dumbest move she's made since altering ultrasounds and sending, fictitious characters my way. But again, thanks so much, and hopefully I'll see you when I'm in town next month, and we'll talk in a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm going to let you guys get to it, Dave. Bravo.
All right. Oh, and I want to promote your podcast. Everybody go support Courtney Robertson. Give us a shout out.
You're so sweet. After Reality, you can get it anywhere you listen to your podcast, but I'm so pumped. I'm proud of you, Dave.
Appreciate you. Thank you so much. Tell the husband I said hi, and we'll see you in a little bit.
Okay.
All right, that's Courtney Robertson, everybody. Fantastic news coming way faster than I thought. We're actually receiving more information. We're going to get to a lot of this. We're going to get to the minutes of what happened today in a little bit here. But right now, pretty wild stuff. Audience is losing their mind. There's going to be more information coming out, so stick around right now. We're going to get Reality Steve on the line whenever he's ready. And Courtney said, will Clayton's Airbnb be open by June? Oh, it's already open. Clayton's Airbnb is open. I was thinking about renting it for my show. Again, for all of those out there, I will be going live. I will be doing stand-up in 1 month. March 28th in Phoenix, if you guys want to come. All right, let's get Reality Steve on the line. Ladies and gentlemen, the spoiler king, Reality Steve, how are you?
It's been quite an interesting last 24 hours, we'll say that.
Very, very busy. Very busy. I watched your podcast this morning. I listened to it. And I don't want to share any spoilers, but the spoiler world seems to be almost as dramatic as Clayton's world.
Yeah, it's kind of gotten turned upside down on its head, and I'm working through things. I'm figuring out stuff, and we'll eventually have some answers.
Well, you're in the Hall of Fame. Your batting average is too high. You could get the next 10 seasons wrong, and we got a path to the Hall of Fame here. Have you been following what just went down in the last 10 minutes?
You need to tell me you need to fill me in. I don't even know what's happened this morning. I saw you made a post about, hey, we had 2 rulings in favor of Clayton. I'm like, oh, crap,
okay.
I need to know what's going on.
Absolutely wild stuff. It all just came raining down. Everyone hit the like button that are watching. We don't normally do lives here, but we're going to have to do them. Let's just say pack your bags for June 7th. That doesn't coincide with your Vegas trip, does it? Oh, excuse me, June 10th. That's the new hearing day.
My party's June 7th.
Oh, it's June 7th.
Yeah, Friday, June 7th. So the 10th would be Monday. Yeah.
All right, so this is so if everyone goes to your party in Vegas, and then they could maybe drive over to Scottsdale for June 10th. The hearing got moved. They're giving 2 full hours for the evidentiary hearing. Right now, we've got Jane Doe. So we've got a court reporter there. Jane Doe is there. Clayton is there. Zaddy Woodnick is there. I believe his other lawyer, Isabel, is there. Our favorite Isabel. And It's wild. I mean, within minutes, I mean, right away, we're finding out that, no, of course, Jane is complaining that she received death threats, which, again, no one should be sending death threats, but I have to say, an internet death threat is not what a death threat used to be. I'm sorry. Like, any crazy person can shoot out a death threat from a Starbucks Wi-Fi. It's criminal. That can't be used against the fair reporting here. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, it's almost, I don't want to say the word laughable because we're talking about death threats here, but what you just said is absolutely true. It's not the same as it used to be, because we never, in the 80s and 90s when we were growing up, we didn't have access to anybody we wanted to on the internet. We only could access the people whose phone numbers we knew, and we had to dial them up and call them, and usually their parents that picked up before we could actually get to them. So it's just a different world we're living in now, and you can't compare a death threat in 1980 and 1992 what it is now.
And I say this. I mean, we already know the FBI is on this case. The Hannah Clark from the FBI called Scottsdale police after Jane weaponized potential suicide. Not only to me, but Clayton and Greg and literally everyone else. I will kill myself if I don't get what. I mean, imagine Jane Doe, 5 years old, in a candy store. Daddy, I want the Werther's Originals, or I'm going to kill myself. I mean, she's literally this game plan is. She's done this for a decade now. I have a source that says she did this a decade ago to my source in a non-intimate way. We do have breaking news that keeps on breaking. Everyone's been wondering what Jane Doe's lawyer is going to say or do at this hearing. So to answer your question, today was just a conversation. This was a way for them all to get in the same room, as far as I know, and have the judge say, all right, we're going to deny that motion, we're going to accept this, and just kind of lay it all out. So next week was supposed to be the evidentiary hearing, the 27th. Clayton's lawyer says, how can I do that? She didn't even show up to the deposition. Like, we're trying to play fair. She's not. And the judge agreed with Clayton, and they extended. I mean, I'm surprised they extended this to June 10th. I think that's like probably, I know Clayton didn't want it to go this long, but this is where we're at. And now the judge is responding to the lawyer for Jane Doe, who talked about the death threats. They agreed that Clayton has nothing to do with the death threats, but they are saying that the death threats have increased since she's become a public figure. I would argue they've increased as she has, as it's been made aware that she is operating a con scheme. I still don't think they should exist, but literally, I mean, baseball players that strike out to end the game get death threats. You know what I mean? It's just ridiculous. The judge, and this is breaking news, has denied their request to seal this case. She offered to make exhibits confidential as needed. So the judge said basically this: I'm not going to make this case confidential, but if there's something that I deem the public doesn't need to know, I will, make that, I will seal that, which I think is fair. If there's something so embarrassing to Jane Doe that she doesn't want the world to know, I think that's fair. We don't need to know if she's got HPV. We don't need to know any of that stuff.
Can there be anything more embarrassing than the dating contracts we've already seen? Like, that's the most embarrassing thing I've ever seen in my life, and those have been out there. So basically, you're talking about every time that you have gone over the court documents, you read, the lawyer speak and all that, and then at the end of that, there's 40 pages of exhibits. Her Medium articles, her emails, her text messages. So the judge is basically saying we might not need to include all that as terms of public record, but we're not sealing the main point of the lawyer speak that we're going to see in the court documents. I'm assuming that's what they mean by saying we're not going to show exhibits.
Right. Clayton's side, it's like the only exhibit that we want is, multiple things. We want to know whether or not she was ever pregnant with Clayton's babies. We know the answer is no, but we want there to be no doctors, because she claimed there's 3 different doctors, Dr. McCool, all these guys. We want to know that they do not exist, or that they never said that she was pregnant. Now they might say, well, she did test positive the first. No. That doesn't count. That shouldn't be embarrassing to her. She's hiding behind her HIPAA rights, and the judge is going to say, no, I'll decide if it's embarrassing or not here. So that's really good information. It looks like Clayton's side, they want medical records dating back 5 years, because of course they have a vested interest whether it might just be useful to them to also be exonerating Greg Gillespie at this moment, even though Greg Gillespie knows what his truth is. How great would it be if during the discovery it also exonerates Greg, maybe Mike. It could. I mean, what this judge.
Question: is Greg's case over? Is he done with everything, or is there stuff still going on in the Greg case?
He won in the sense that she lost her case about emotional distress. He countersued her for his emotional distress, which he also lost. But that's kind of what you expect. You go, if you're going to sue me, I'm going to sue you. And then knowing that they wouldn't be able to prove hers, he wasn't able to prove his. Perfectly fine. We might have Greg Gillespie in the audience. Judge Matta says her ruling will stand. But again, she'll make any exhibits confidential. I trust her. I trust the judicial system. I believe it works, as slow and as costly as it may be. And in the past, the blanket temporary restraining orders against Clayton, I can't speak to those, but right here, it seems we have a judge very interested in having her courtroom not being made a mockery. And I think that's about as fair as we could ask for at this point.
That's what we've all wanted from the very beginning after finding out. When we only knew back in September when the article first broke, we were just thinking like, wow, crazy woman after Clayton. And then we start unpeeling the onion and realizing, holy crap, this is not just an isolated incident. This is years of somebody using the system and has done this to numerous men. And we're just like, our mouths are wide open. And obviously you covered it all, but
and why wouldn't she? Why wouldn't she abuse the system? She's gotten away with it. Most people, they use whatever tools they have, whatever anxious disorder she's got that's made her so desperate to get these guys to respond to her. The gig is up. Looks like her lawyer is still claiming she miscarried. Of course, all we got to do is see that evidence, and then we can revisit how the hell she got pregnant. But I think it's very fair for you and myself and Megan and everyone else to continue to question without any evidence. What's in the good Lord's year of 2024, you could literally do a take-home. I mean, there's so many ways you could prove you had these babies, and she has not done one of them.
Yeah, I mean, the only way I think he could get away with saying my client miscarried, and this is just obviously a giant reach, is after the May 20th hookup with Clayton, she actually hooked up with somebody else, did get pregnant, was pregnant, did lose the baby within 8 to 10 weeks, 12 weeks of that, did miscarry, but then carried on the lie about Clayton. Like, that's and that's so far-fetched, but that's the only way she can claim miscarry on this, right? Like, we all know. It's like, how many times have we gone over this? She was claiming at 7 months you were pregnant. You should be able to, at that point, show us your last OBGYN visit. Show us your last 5 OBGYN visits, because at that point, a 33-year-old woman with twins would have been probably going to the doctor twice a week. She never showed any of that. She never showed a belly. She would never get on a FaceTime with any of us to show us how big she was. Like, it just, we all know, it wasn't. She was never pregnant, but here we are 9 months later, and there's still been no factual proof. But it seems to be pretty easy, because all you got to do is, I guess, okay, if you were pregnant, you were obviously seeing a doctor. Let's subpoena those doctors, put them right on the stand, and be like, did you treat this woman? Did you put your clamps up inside of her and see a baby? Or it's you know what I'm saying? Like, it's pretty obvious on how we can get to the bottom of that answer. She didn't miscarry. Because it's after 20.
Well, I hate to break it to you, but her side says they will have proof of her miscarriage next week, as I'm finding out. Now, when we talk miscarriage, what does proof mean? You don't have to go to the doctor if you miscarry. And so she's very convenient.
This isn't miscarry because it happened after week 20. This isn't why aren't they calling it stillbirth? This is not a miscarry.
Judge asks. Oh, Judge has the same questions you have. Judge asks when the miscarriage may have happened. Oh, this is interesting. Jane Doe goes to her doctor, Dr. McCool, and in November, and was told she miscarried a month or two prior. All right, folks. All right, folks. Steve, wait, you don't believe her? Come on! All right, so everyone start to do your math. We're saying...
Wait a second, Dave. Let's do... On October 27th, in that first hearing that she didn't know was being recorded, we know she had a fake baby bump on. So so either she lied about the fact that she knew she had it earlier and carried out the lie, or she's lying about being...
Yeah, I'm looking. The baby bump would have been... I mean, that would have been what?
October
November?
27th.
October 27th would have been the baby bump. So
yeah.
She would have found out that she had Yeah, I mean, by all means.
So then why? And then on November 4th, a week later, she said, "I'm 24 weeks pregnant." She said that under oath, "I'm 24 weeks pregnant." That was when Clayton's lawyer was trying to get her to answer questions about the pregnancy, and the judge was like, "Hey, this is more about the harassment part. She doesn't have to answer that, all that stuff." But she said under oath, on November 4th, "I'm 24 weeks pregnant." So she's saying she didn't know she had a baby die in her 2 months earlier? That's basically what she's saying? It's not adding up. The math ain't mapping.
All the medical records. And by the way, now that we're actually in the court system, I don't need to see the medical records. The judge does. If the judge will see medical records dating back to August of 2020. So these medical records will either prove that Greg, they may exonerate Greg Gillespie. Not that he needs to be exonerated, but of course, my thought here is, and again, it's interesting because we have seen her very visibly want to show her baby. So if she did miscarry in September. Again, this is exactly what I said she should have done. I don't think she needs to take my opinion, but I said what she should have done was claim miscarriage and then maybe some psychological issue where she wouldn't admit she wasn't pregnant any longer. You know what I mean? Like she has to claim insanity on some level, or she just flat out perjured herself with props. I mean, and again, this is why it's important to receive the purchase records from Amazon to see if she just bought a baby bump online.
Well, all we got to do now that we know this, now that we know that her lawyer said she miscarried in November, she was told she miscarried a month or two earlier. Okay, so that means when she went on with her fake baby bump on that Zoom call during the hearing on the 27th, she had a dead fetus inside her for the last 2 months. That's now the facts based on what her lawyer just said. And I just don't think that's humanly possible. She would have, can it be, I don't know, can it be dead inside of you for 2 months and you not have a freaking clue about it?
You would probably get sepsis, which is a serious infection.
I'm saying, she would be sick or something, right?
But yes, I'm getting comments from people saying that she did claim she was 24 weeks pregnant, and we'll have to see. Yeah, we'll have to see when she was cross-examined by the Honorable Deandra at Woodnick Law, which was such a fantastic. I mean, as we look at this, Steve, you and I, we're just some chumps here. We don't know too much about the legal system, but they got her to say so many things on record in late October, early November, that for everyone who donated to Clayton's GoFundMe, I think you got your money's worth. I know Clayton did.
Go back to your video on November 4th when you covered that hearing. She absolutely 1,000%, and it's in the court records, absolutely 100% on November 4th said, "I'm 24 weeks pregnant."
We have commenters saying you would have died, and the fact that she's claiming that happened. So we're hearing from the court that the argument from Jane Doe's side is that it's not lying if you believe you're still pregnant. That's the argument. Arguing that you can miscarry and not know it. Therefore, she didn't lie. Well, I mean, case closed. All right, there it is. So as long as you believe your psychotic reality, that's the reality of the world. All right, Clayton, no worries. Go back to work. We're done here. I just believed I was pregnant. I don't mean to sound like a boomer, but is this the new generation where if you believe it, it's true? Is this some Oprah, secret vision board bullshit?
Yeah, shit. I got to start going back to my emails with Laura and looking at the dates on them now and looking at the things that she said to me on them, at no point did she ever say, oh, by the way, Steve, I miscarried 2 months ago. Like, she was emailing me in November and December saying she was still pregnant. So she's lying to somebody. Again, like, are we surprised at this? No.
So yeah. Boy, she's slippery, huh? I understand her argument. It's not a bad, it's of all of the bad arguments she can make, it's probably the best one, which was, well, I thought I was, and then my doctor told me I lost it 2 months earlier. What the fuck? And you know what? The fact that her mom has the ovaries to tell psychologists that you and I should not be believed here is insulting.
Oh, Jan. You know, like, I don't know, Jan, do something else instead of hang around online all day. I mean, we appreciate the clicks. We appreciate the watches. You appreciate the downloads and the watches on YouTube. And I appreciate the downloads because she's clearly listening to every single thing that we do. I don't know what Jan does for work. I don't know what consumes her day other than Dave, Neal, and Reality Steve content. But my gosh, Jan, go find a hobby.
As a soon-to-be father, I got to tell you, I start to understand how offensive it is. It's almost like you knew it was offensive. Comments say, you know, the minute you miscarry, your baby stops moving. They call them flutters, right? It's the feeling of your baby before actual feeling kicks. I mean, you get to a point where you're seeing knees and elbows kicking out of your thing. If she was 24 weeks pregnant, at 6 months, you get worried if a couple hours go by and you don't feel your baby. How insulting to people that have lost. I mean, and again, I know you know this. I know it's a tough conversation to have. I've had people, just to provide their own stories, I've had people tell me of stillbirths, and they've showed me the photos of the feet of the death certificate, printed, they do all of the birth certificates and death certificates when they go through this. It is absolutely probably one of the hardest moments for so many people's lives out there. And all I can say is she's just shitting all over real human emotions. For what? To get a guy to fuck her? For what?
Yeah. I mean, I brought this up last week. Someone had emailed me and said, I have had multiple miscarries, just went through a very traumatic pregnancy with my first child. This woman is basically spitting in the face of any woman who's ever had an abortion, ever had a stillbirth, ever had infertility issues. She goes, she's spitting in the face of all of us. It's insulting that what this woman is doing, because she is not going through all of that. She did not. And now, you know what? This new evidence or whatever that was presented, oh, I miscarried a month or two ago. First off, was it a month ago? Was it 2 months ago? We kind of need to establish that. But regardless, as everyone is seemingly commenting that you're seeing, you would know within minutes, an hour, not 2 months later, like, oh, it's been dead in there the whole time. So she's basically saying when she went on that Zoom call October 27th with her fake baby bump, see, that's the thing. We know the baby bump was fake. So what was she carrying on? She knew at that moment then. So she lied then because she knew at that moment it died 2 months ago, unless she found out after the fact. Well, if you found out after the fact, that's a lie too, because there's no way you would have been able to keep a dead baby inside you for 2 months. Sorry.
It's wild. You're absolutely right. It's enraging. And I think this is what I think people have a hard time reckoning with this, because there's no case law. This doesn't really happen. So my guess is she goes to her doctor. Doctors, good people, hardworking, smart, educated. She says, "Where's the baby?" And the doctor goes, "Well, you must have miscarried. There's no baby here." So my guess is the best thing she has is the doctor saying, "You must have miscarried months ago because there's nothing here." If that is the case, blood test should still show whether she was pregnant or not. Your blood doesn't just clean up right away. It shows you if you had a baby. So I'm guessing if she went to the doctor, she had blood tests done. They might not have been looking to see if she was ever pregnant at all, but you would hope that they could find that out now. I would guess once the doctor looks into this, that he would be as insulted as the judge is and everybody else is. and try to put their foot down, because you don't want to, the doctor doesn't want to be sued for malpractice. The doctor doesn't want to be accused of not being ethical or all of these other issues. So I'd give the doctor all the benefit in the world that they just wrote down notes saying, well, she must have miscarried because she's no longer pregnant, because that's the most logical thing if you were not committing a con.
Okay, so here's now my question, and this is an ignorant question because I've never been with anybody who's been pregnant. You could probably obviously answer this with Tasha being pregnant. Here's my question now. We have pictures. Let's say there was a woman was pregnant, and she miscarried and found out about it a month or 2 months later, which is clearly debatable. That's even possible. You had a baby dead inside you for 2 months. I don't think that would have been possible, but let's just say that did happen and she did miscarry. She clearly never went and saw somebody and said, you miscarried. So this is something that she clearly would have miscarried in her own home, in her own bathroom, right? Because she didn't see somebody who told her, because she said she found out later, oh, you miscarried 2 months ago. So she didn't go to a doctor's appointment and a doctor said, hey, you miscarried. She found out later. Here's my question.
Yeah, sorry, go ahead.
Here's my question. Let's just say that somehow that happened. She had a dead baby inside her for 2 months. My question would be, she clearly got rid of it when she went to the bathroom. There was no other way, unless it was on the floor or something like that. My question now becomes, would her stomach have stayed large? Dave, we have pictures of her showing us her belly well after this thing happened.
Yeah, again, she's so pinned to so many angles of this. In most cases, I would assume, again, very ignorant here, not having been through it. In most cases, I would assume you are miscarrying. You're not having a period. You know you're pregnant, so you know you're not having a period. If there's something going on down there when you go to the bathroom, you're gonna freak the fuck out. You're gonna run to the doctor. You're gonna run to the fucking doctor. And I say this because so many people have been in these scary scenarios where they think they lost their child, or they did, and that's just not going to fly. So we're hearing now that the judge is asking for DNA in all records from RavGen. So here's, again, I don't know much, but we bring RavGen in. What's the guy's name? Brett. Hey Brett, book your flight to Arizona. I hear it's nice this time of year. It's going to be kind of hot in June. Maybe that's why she'll be sweating on the stand here. But RavGen, as far as I know, does a paternity test through blood. So they go, and when you're doing these paternity tests, you need to leave no room of doubt. So Clayton, as worried as he was that she was going to somehow fake it, they're going, no. We send a technician there, we draw the blood out, and we send it out. So RavGen has at least 2 or 3 blood samples that they can look at, and they're going to know if she was pregnant or not. Not at the time, they were just looking at the blood to see if he was the father or not. Now they're going to be looking at that blood to see if she's got, I don't know, whatever would be in the blood that would indicate pregnancy. This is very fascinating. People are wondering. Yeah, go ahead.
Well, I want to say it's fascinating, but Dave, at 7 months, she was telling us she was pregnant. So to sit here and say, oh, after in November, she found out she lost it 2 months ago. Well, she was continuing the lie in December, telling people she was pregnant, and I am still pregnant with Clayton's baby. So this is all bullshit. It's total. She can't get away with it. There's no way.
One of the ways it seems that she was getting away with things is that she would go to different doctors. She'd go to Planned Parenthood over here. Then she'd get a doctor's note over here. And again, she lives in Arizona. Where is the monthly ultrasound? I've got 7 of them. My wife and I could do a whole flip book of our beautiful baby. Where are they?
How you guys go?
So we skipped out this last month because of our move. We had to get a new doctor, but early on we were going every 2 weeks. Now, people might go once a month, old school, hey, you go once a month. We go every 2 weeks. You do it's very common to do a chromosome test just to make sure everything's lined up, no genetic deficiencies or whatever. That provides all the information. We do that like 2 months in. You do the ultrasound, which literally, in the earlier stages, the way we did it, it goes through, vaginally, and then you go above the stomach with an ultrasound as the baby's more developed. Again, it might be different for different people. But now this last visit we did a just audio, like whatever it's called. They just listen to the heartbeat. Like it's the baby's so well developed now. It's like we can clearly hear the heartbeat. Whereas the early, I mean, I'm telling you, we found out early on we were having a baby. Early on, and I was like, come on, there's no way they're gonna know. And our doctor, he looked 1 second in. There it is. There's your baby. Just, I mean, they know what they're looking at. So the fact that we're even having this nitty gritty argument, I understand we have to, but it looks like she's signed her HIPAA release. So they're not doing the whole come back and sign it fact. They're doing, here's the judge, sign this shit now. Let's get to the bottom of this. Both sides are seeking attorney's fees. If it comes to the point of who's going to pay, then it'll be like proven without a shadow of a doubt. And then we'll have to come down to, does she file for bankruptcy if she loses? Like, is she going to pay this bill? She should have the money after all the people she's sued. She's already bragged about how deep her pockets are. So we'll have to see. Maybe Clayton will have to commandeer a horse and ride through Old Town Scottsdale with a Clydesdale. We'll have to see how it plays out.
Well, I mean, I hate to go off tangent here, but just talking about going as many times as you did with Tasha and getting ultrasounds, whatever, it just brings me back to, I don't know, the 1500s. How did women deliver a baby with no, or early age, Stone Ages? Like, there were no doctors, there was no ultrasound. What the hell was going on?
I mean,
how
but
were
they
people delivering a healthy baby.
They can do a lot of. I think here's the thing, right? Other than taking your vitamins, there isn't much you need to do for a healthy baby other than just stay healthy, don't drink caffeine. You can have a shot of espresso here and there. You can have a half calf. None of that Monster Energy shit. You got to be careful what you put in your body. Your baby's going to respond if you have sriracha, which is fine. You can have some spicy food, but just know everything that goes through you connects through the baby, through the cord. I mean, it connects literally up into their lungs all the way, and it kind of branches out and it feeds them everything. So they are connected to you emotionally, physically. If your baby's breached or in the wrong position right before birth, they can do like manual maneuvers that help move the baby in the right direction to avoid a C-section. I mean, what they were probably doing before modern day was pretty good. Modern day medicine, for a lot of reasons, has probably fucked up pregnancies. Like the U.S. is not in a good place for like pregnancy rates because we've complicated things. We don't necessarily give birth in the right positions that they used to, and all these things. But we've considered a doula. We've considered having pregnancy centers with just like all the people around that actually know how to give like better holistic births, because it's you're not you go to the doctor and the bright lights and there's everyone's got a different thing that they want, right? But the conversation here is just about how she still thinks she can get away with this. And there's going to be the deposition, more breaking news, the deposition still set for March 1st. So get that in your calendars, folks. The deposition will be Laura's deposition will be March 1st. Now, if the judge wants to seal that as an exhibit, sure, maybe there'll be parts of it she doesn't want to get out. But I have to think that this judge is making some really great decisions and taking all of Jane's complaints and saying, all right, if I think there's something that's, I'll be on your side. I'll prevent you from revealing any childhood trauma or whatever things that aren't, that are admissible. But because you can ask crazy questions in a deposition and then the judge can be like, we're not going to ask that. That's ridiculous. So you just got to kind of do the deposition and then the judge will decide what's fair and what's not. So she can't cry that I was unfair, that you were unfair. She doesn't have to come talk to us. She can do it through the legal system. That's where we're at now.
And then we're just going to comment on everything that comes out legally. But I almost think, Dave, by that statement that you said today that was relayed to you, that her lawyer is saying in November she was told she miscarried a month or two before. I'm sorry, that just incriminated her even more, because at month 7 she was still telling me, she was telling Medium articles, she was telling everybody I'm pregnant. So wait a second. So now you carried out the lie even worse. You found out you miscarried basically in August or September, and in December you were still telling people you were pregnant.
Steve, can I cut you off? I'm taking a call with my court reporter right now. You can stay on the line here. Let's go to my court reporter, Dana, in the courtroom. Can you hear me, Dana? How are you? How are you? Good. Steve, can you hear her now or no?
I can hear it kind of faint. I can hear it
Okay,
enough. Yeah.
give us the rundown. We were following your notes, but Dana, please, what's the mood like in the courtroom?
Oh, well, on Clayton's side, very happy. Seems like everything kind of went the way that they were hoping to.
I want to know. I want to know. Is Clayton recording a TikTok dance right now?
No, he is not. He is having a conversation right now with his attorney and the reporter from AZ Central, who did the article.
Very good. Hold on. Oh, sorry. I'm in the wrong. Hold on. I think I lost people here. Let me make sure. I want to make sure that everyone can hear you right now. I had you on the wrong. I had you on the wrong channel. So Clayton's side is happy. Clearly, It seems like they got everything they asked for. Could you tell us what they won today?
What they won today is that JD has signed a HIPAA release allowing her medical records through August 2020 to be obtained.
Got you. August of 2020. So that basically will include and move way past Clayton into Greg Gillespie territory. Did they explain why to 2020?
They felt like that was all that pertained to this case. I do know that they said that there was a rule that allowed to like January 2018, but they argued that they didn't think it was necessary to go that far back. But based on, just so you know, Greg was in the courtroom.
Wow.
I sat behind him. And based on his reaction, he seemed pleased with the August 2020 date.
Yeah, I mean, wait, what's because that'll cover all of his info.
Right. And then the judge also kind of basically let everyone know that none of these medical records are supposed to be released to the public. Mr. Keith argued that it was obvious that some records have been obtained outside of coming to the court and getting them because they were in color, where if you come to the court, all the records are black and white. So they are aware that there is a leak to the public of court records.
Interesting. Very interesting. And again,
I don't know how you can leak public records.
I know this is the claim she made before when she was saying Greg Gillespie is the one behind it all. I mean, she's always got somebody. So what, explain the argument from Jane Doe's side that she miscarried and didn't know it. What was that? Like, what was the tone of all of that?
That was interesting because Judge Matta specifically asked, when did she miscarry? What was the date? There was some whispering between Jane Doe and Mr. Keith, and then he said that she received medical treatment in mid-November, that they verified that she had miscarried, and she must have miscarried a month or two prior, and that it is possible to miscarry at the 20-week mark and not be aware that you have had a miscarriage. This got a little bit of response from me and other people sitting in the courtroom.
Like, well, what kind of response here? Are we gasping? What's happening?
Well, I've had a couple of miscarriages. My miscarriages were like a month or two into the pregnancy, and I couldn't imagine not being aware that that was going on with my body. But that's my experience.
Well, I'm sorry. I'm sorry to hear that you have to. Yeah. I'm sorry to hear that you have to listen to Jane sort of try to
minimize our experiences. Should we put it that way? Minimize our experiences as women. Yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, look, I don't know if you drink, but you have had margaritas donated to you today, so you're...
I actually don't drink, but I appreciate the gesture of that from the audience.
Well, guacamole for life on us. So
I'll take that, man.
So I guess because people have wondered, what in the hell is she going to say? So now you're telling us she says that mid-November the doctor said she must have miscarried. Is that the frame where the doctor? I mean, she's obviously like paraphrasing here, but is she trying to imply that the doctor was trying to like make sense of it all, or I guess that's going to be the question: is was the doctor covering his own ass here, or what?
Well, that's the thing. I don't think it's a doctor doing a CYA. I think it's Jane Doe doing a CYA. This is why fetal death certificates can't be provided, because we don't know the exact date or time frame. that this is far enough away that different hormone levels that a mother would go through when she miscarries that would show like the diminished levels of HGC. Is that the right hormone called?
I believe so. So yeah. Is it believed that the Ravgen's DNA test will reveal if she was pregnant or not?
Well, the court is going to issue an order to be sent to Ravgen to provide their results. There was nothing said that their results would indicate that she was pregnant.
Wow. How fascinating.
It's just to show the DNA results that Ravgen had. And apparently Ravgen will release nothing without a court order. So Judge Matta is signing that court order.
Now, what was the judge's overall mood? We've looked at judges in the past as very dismissive of her. On some, we've had judges, we've had people that are sort of very well versed in the court system, the family court system, say the judge isn't going to want to deal with it. She's going to dismiss it. This is bullshit. But it seems as though the judge wants to almost prove that, wants to see this thing through. Could you tell from the judge's facial reactions how she handled these responses?
Judge Matta was very great at having a consistent facial expression through the whole thing. I will applaud her professionalism, but it is quite clear by her actions and her words, she wants to see the facts of this and get this all sorted out. She wants the whole truth behind it.
And any responses by Clayton's lawyers as she's dismissing or denying Jane's attempts, or is this just, did they keep a poker face there?
Zaddy he's humorous in court just like he is in his documents. He did a few things that kind of made me chuckle. He seemed very pleased with the rulings that the judge was making and very happy. Clayton, I felt like I could see him lightening up as he was getting these rulings towards what they wanted in the case.
Yeah, you have to be surprised because, Clayton came into this relatively cynical, having had a restraining order placed against him, which, he's going to have to live with that information for life, and thinking, that Jane's got political power here because of her dad. And all these crazy...
Well, hello, Zaddy Greg.
Yeah, I'm
that person. I'm on with Dave Neal right now. Zaddy Greg has to go away.
Oh, yeah.
You're very funny.
Who knew he brought both truth and humor to the courtroom? Well,
he did. The best part is when he said, "We believe that," I won't say the name, lied. It's very emphatic in the court. It was great.
Wow. A real audition for for Dateline, I suppose. I don't want to leave any meat on the bone here. Anything else? Now, the new date of June 10th seems like a major win for Clayton's side. This gives them plenty of time to sift through there's no delaying a fax from a doctor. You know what I mean? There's plenty of time for them. Was that a surprise?
Well, that was just the first available date the judge had with enough time to put this on her calendar. She still wants the deposition to happen March 1st. Great. And then she expects initial disclosures, discovery to be provided within 30 days of that March 1st date.
Wow.
She said she'll allow other discovery to be brought in up to 30 days before the hearing, but that she really wants them to get all their discovery together and get it in what would probably be about 45 days from now.
And then, it seems like this is all really going in the right direction for Clayton here, all because they decided to fight for who pays the bill. That's the only reason, since the obvious paternity issue was settled here by her not being pregnant. It's going to be a video deposition because they did a video deposition of Clayton, which I don't think they wanted to do. I think Clayton smartly pulled that card to say, we want video to see her face when she gives these answers because, behavioral specialists need to look at her and kind of start to piece together how's she thinking the way she is, and what's her baseline when she's telling a truth versus when she's lying. We saw that in the live stream court case she didn't know was being streamed, which was just real, community theater reactions by her.
It really was. She seemed much more less emotive today than what I've seen on the streamed cases.
Really, and I know. So look, I don't. It's very obvious. I want to repeat it for the third time on my stream that we want no harm, physical or emotional, really dealt to her. She can settle with. She can deal with her own feelings, but we don't want that pushed onto her. It does seem to be though that was kind of her only defense for this to be sealed. Is that right?
Yes, it was basically because of the public interest in the case, that she is apparently receiving online threats and stuff like that. And I will be quite frank, in my head, I went, well, then get offline.
Yeah.
If you're getting these threats, if you just stop logging into everything, you're not going to get them.
Yeah, I mean, before she considered herself a public figure, she used these threats against the contractor. Someone, a dog walks, a skunk walks by her Ring camera at 2 a.m. and she thinks that, people are trying to break into her house. I mean, complete delusion, paranoia. With this case, so you're telling me she claims, even though she's verified on Instagram, which she claims to be a public figure. She hit the Instagram button that says public figure. You're telling me she's claiming she's not a public figure?
Oh, that's what Mr. Key said, is that she is taking a step back from being a public figure. The argument is she's less of a public figure than Clayton is.
All right, so because she's not as popular as Clayton, she's allowed to do this. She clearly didn't take a step back on Valentine's Day when she publicly released a public article onto a public, it's a membership only, but it's still available if people want to pay for it. So very interesting that she's trying to argue and again, you're telling me the judge struck that down?
Struck that down. The judge feels like that things like addresses can be redacted from the evidence and understands and wants the medical stuff not released and for that to be kept private, but everything else is supposed to remain public.
I'm receiving great comments from people that are telling me the video deposition of Amber Heard had that oops moment where she accidentally said the wrong thing, and that was analyzed for ad nauseum. I don't know if you remember that moment, but yeah, yep. If she catches herself saying it's one thing to get a date wrong. Oh, that was October. I meant November. It's one thing to get a date wrong, but I think it'll be very obvious if she is talked into a corner here. And my legal advice would be for her to plead the fifth the whole way through. But I know that'll look bad on her if she does. But I mean, what are the alternatives? So tell me, just before we wrap it up, could you tell me what's your overall vibe being in the courtroom watching this? Did it go? I know you've talked about having witnessed cases before, but did it go as you thought it would? Was it as dramatic, or give me your overall picture?
This was the most exciting court hearing that I've ever sat in. Wow. Frankly, there was a lot going on. I was struggling to send you notes about everything because so much was just going on. It was kind of like watching a really fast tennis match. The ball's over here, it's over here, it's over here. Back and forth, back and forth. It was just the body language of Jane Doe versus Clayton, seeing how nobody was sitting there for Jane Doe other than her attorney. No family, no friends, nothing. It was just her. And then I could see Greg Gillespie. By the way, I guess Jane Doe's got a thing for big guys. Yeah. Just going to say. Nice, tall, built guys. Couple other people seem to be taking notes, stuff like that. It's a very simple courtroom, not very warm. When I went in, I felt a lot of ease on Clayton's side. He talking to Zaddy and Isabel, and they were chatting and joking around. They weren't even talking about the case. They were very lighthearted.
Did Isabel comment at all, or was she just there, because Zaddy doesn't want to be in the same room with Jane?
She just provided some dates of clarification on things. Even Greg provided a date to clarify something that had to do with how far back the medical records might need to go.
Greg Gillespie commented.
Yes.
Oh, very interesting.
She turned around to him, and he kind of helped verify what kind of date would be good. So that was interesting.
Well, Dana, I got to tell you in front of our audience right now of about 2,000 people that we're going to send you a nice giant super chat. I'll Venmo you afterwards, but we appreciate your time. And everyone who's watching in the chat, any donations you make are going to go straight to our court reporter here. I might see you June 10th. I might be there. Maybe I'll just stream outside. Maybe I'll, who knows? We'll have to see. But very fascinating stuff. And
well, if it's June 10th and you're here, I'll be here wearing my T-shirt. Just saying.
Oh, well, thank you so much. I appreciate.
Fan of Dave Neal, some podcaster.
Appreciate the support. Well, I'll be there March 28th, so maybe I'll see you then for my stand-up show. I was hoping this whole thing would be wrapped up by then, but I guess the truth can come out very slowly sometimes.
Well, if you're coming in June, Dave, just have a lot of sunscreen and a lot of water. It is hot in Phoenix.
I'll be fully hydrated, as always, for my reporting. But anyhow, thank you again so much. I'll text you offline.
Okay. Take care, Dave.
All right,
bye.
All right, there it is. What do you think about that, Steve?
Couple things. Number one, I have a question. Was this just a woman who messaged you and said, "Hey, Dave, I'll go to the court for you to relay you," or is she a professional? Like, what is her?
She's we all have the ability to be in the courtroom, obviously, as reporters, as we kind of keep track on each other. She is someone who's followed the case. I don't know her resume other than she's followed the case pretty closely. So, she's, I think she has said, I think she's seen other criminal court cases, and very interesting to see that she said this is the most interesting she's ever been a part of. And this wasn't even the case, you know what I mean? This was just the sort of getting things on the books.
I think the biggest thing now, Dave, honestly, now that I think about it, last week, I told you my party is June 7th in Las Vegas. Last week I booked my flight. I'm coming in Thursday, leaving Monday, the 6th through the 10th in Vegas. I'm 1,000% now going to change my return flight. I'm going to go Vegas to Arizona Monday morning, and I'll be there. Like, there's no reason for me not to. This is perfect timing. I don't have to book a separate flight for a different weekend. This basically is a perfect timing. So, I don't know. We still don't know. I know you're having your child on the May 1st is the due date, I think, and I don't know if you're making it to the party this year. But hey, we can fly. If you do, then we could fly out Monday together and go to Phoenix together.
How about a reality Steve camper wagon? How about?
I tell you right now, if you go, I'll go. I'm in.
I'm thinking about it. I think for my own defense of whatever lawsuit she has cooking up against me, that I just need to continue to report. I need to continue to report on this case. And I can do that virtually, as we just saw, but we can also do it in person. I've looked into flying in and out, even, on short notice. So we'll have to, obviously got to take care of my family first. So we'll have to see. Hearing, oh, wow. I'm getting notes right now that USA Today was at the court hearing.
Oh, nice. That's good.
That is big. National attention, ladies and gentlemen. This is shocking.
What was I going to say about Monday? Oh, that Monday the 10th. Is that something we would be able to sit in on like Dana just did, or we'd be able to watch a 2-hour happen?
That'll be a 2-hour live stream. I mean, a 2-hour court case, and it could go long, but it's at 8:45 in the morning. If I were the judge, I would be clearing my morning. I'd say, you know what? Let's clear the whole morning. They've agreed to 2 hours, but as we've seen in the past, the judge can just decide to go, you know what? Let's just keep on going. And then Jane's side can be like, well, we've got a dentist appointment or whatever. But this is fascinating.
We'd be allowed in. We'd be able to watch it. We're not just outside and then finding out after the fact. I
mean, unless she wants to call the cops on us or something. Here's my plan is when I go to my show March 28th in Phoenix, I'm gonna have to let the police know I'm in town. I don't want police showing up based on half stories about me being this. I hate that I have to do this, but you have to alert the police before crazy phone calls come in. I've had to do it in my new home here. I didn't do it in LA, and look what happened. She called the FBI on me and all these crazy things, right? So I'm going to let them know. I already let the officials for Maricopa County. I've already let the courtroom know, what do I need to do to get permits to film? And they said, you don't need to do anything. They said, if anything, we'll let the security team know you're here. So if I go, I might just stay outside and live stream, maybe dip in and out. But I don't think we'll be able to like communicate when you're in the courthouse and when you're out. So maybe you'll want to go in and you can talk to me after. We can work that all out. But yeah, that'll be open to people. I don't want anyone to make a mockery of the system. Your tax dollars go towards this exact thing. And God knows a piece of all of our tax money has already funded the Scottsdale Police Department, as they've literally had to replace the speakers in their phones from wear and tear over her.
Yeah, I think this is just, I think the timing is almost kind of funny, because now this wouldn't be a second trip for me. All I have to do is change my return flight. And now that you say it's 8:45 in the morning, do I really want to wake up at 6 a.m. on the Monday morning? So now I'm probably going to fly out of Vegas Sunday night.
Well, I'm hearing word that they wanted it to be on Friday the 7th, but the judge said she actually had a commitment in Las Vegas. So she might be heading to your party, for all we know.
Coming to my party.
I don't know what the Olive Garden looks like in Scottsdale, but we'll have to fire up the tour of Italy.
Oh God, yeah, no, that's going to be great. This is so awesome. I'm so glad. As long as you're in, I'm not going to go if you don't go. So
I'm at the very least going to fly in night before. Like I might do a 24-hour thing just because if you know, maybe I'll have the in-laws stay here and help Tasha. But I just think it's very important that we continue to report on this. I got plenty of frequent flyer miles. So very interesting stuff. Anything else before we get out of here?
I was gonna say to Dana what I said to you. Could she have heard me if I said something or no?
What do you, Dana?
Yeah.
No, my systems. I got you on my audio is a little crossed up, so she wouldn't have been able to hear you.
I was just gonna say to Dana what I said to you about Dana. Okay, we understand now that her lawyer said she in November found out she had lost the baby a month or two earlier. Then why in December was she telling us she is 7 months pregnant? Like, because I have proof. I'm sure you have proof if you looked in your emails, or Woodnick looked in his emails. She absolutely in December was telling people she was 7 months, she was still pregnant. So again, if she found out in November, she had 6 weeks of knowing she didn't have a baby in her belly and was still telling people I'm pregnant. So she just incriminated herself again.
Wild stuff. Wild stuff. We have so much to sift through. This is why it's important that we share this publicly, because I've got an audience of 2,000 people right now, a lot of them very smart, that can piece things together. And you don't want the justice system to be all vigilante because people get things wrong, but it's really important for people to come together. I mean, Clayton would have never known that Greg Gillespie existed if it weren't for Greg Gillespie's girlfriend being like, they're doing this to this guy. This is the same, people find out it's the same person. Everybody, and I said this before I went live with you, everybody that commented reactions to Jane Doe's father in December when he posted, our daughter's being bullied. Everyone that worked in that community found out the truth, and none of them commented on this time that the father posted, because they're all quiet now, because now they understand. And that's why Jane took my name off of her Medium articles, because there can't be any route back to the truth, or else she's not going to be the winner here. I mean, we're not pulling a fast one by anybody here. We are not the bad guy, and I don't care if her mom wants to characterize us that way, but it's great to see thousands of people rejoice that it's finally getting attention. I mean, this just sounds so, like making a bigger deal out of it, but this might not be everyone's biggest story of the year, but for Clayton and Greg and Andrew and Matt and Mike and Redacted in the building, this is the biggest story of their lives. This is them recorrecting being mischaracterized as monsters. So this is all good news.
And I think the ironic thing about all of this, Dave, as we said from the get-go, she's claiming about all this harassment she's gotten online, these death threats or whatever. And none of this would have ever happened if she never went to the Sun. She could have handled this privately, probably could have gotten money out of Clayton, under the table privately, and handled this internally, the second she went to the Sun, she brought this all upon herself because she didn't have to go and tell the Sun her story. She just wanted to because she thought it was going to work in her favor, and it absolutely backfired. It's poetic justice, is what they say.
You know, when you speak about justice, how ironic that it's all because of the Sun. When we look at Icarus, Icarus ignores the instructions not to fly too close to the Sun, causing the beeswax in his wings to melt. Icarus falls from the sky, plunges into the sea, and drowned. The myth gave rise to the idiom, fly too close to the Sun.
That's barrel scraping philosopher Dave. There it is.
All right, my guy. I got to go to my private live stream and make a podcast, but everyone already knows you, but everyone go listen to Reality Steve. You gave fascinating commentary today on your podcast. Any other teasers for what you're working on?
Stuff's coming. Stuff's coming. I'll leave it at that.
That's it. Stuff's coming. That's the new Reality Steve merch line. That's also what Clayton said the other night. All right. Thanks again, buddy. I'll talk to you later.
Yeah, see ya.
All right, that's Reality Steve. Very fantastic stuff. Here's how it's going to work, folks. I might make some of you guys a little angry here, but we are going live on Patreon immediately right now. I will be live within 5 minutes on Patreon. It's $5 a month. I got to go feed the Patreon family. We're going to continue to talk about this wild day. Patreon.com/Dave Neal. You can sign up. You can cancel anytime you want. It's $5 a month. There is a free version. They're not going to get all of the videos, but the free version is still a good place to be. I sent an email to the free version this morning that got some information about the quash of the deposition, so you can go join right now. That's my big push to you guys. Thank you to everyone who donated to Dana. She will be getting a nice lunch and then some on us. We appreciate all of you guys in the comment sections. And I know it's wild out there. Just remember, I've got a whole timeline of times I said, don't email her. The court system is working. It involved pressure from us and pressure from you. You helped Clayton get great counsel. You helped Clayton receive the right person for the right job. And we're watching that justice rise to the top. So thank you guys all so much. Again, I'm going to be moving right over to Patreon right now to continue this conversation. We'll see you guys over there. Bye, everyone. Thank you for your time. Thank you, Dana, for the amazing work she did. And let's see. We're actually getting some more. Hold on. Let me just see. How old is this? We're getting some more late-breaking content. It looks like some people taking an Uber out of town. The HIPAA releases have been signed, and we're going to find out what the hell, and maybe we won't know, maybe we won't get the information, maybe it'll be redacted, but I'm sure we'll find out what that medical record looks like. Perfumerism said, just got here. What happened on today's meeting? Today's meeting was a giant victory for Clayton Echard. A giant victory. We're going to continue to discuss on the Patreon. He has an extension. His evidentiary hearing, which was scheduled for February 27th, is now June 10th. Can you believe that? School's going to be out, baby. And we'll be there with our sunblock ready to go. Maybe one of those nice sun umbrellas that you see there that the old Victorian era people have. We'll be out there. Maybe Bruce will show up and he can help us mist each other. We'll have to see how it all plays out. Clayton wins. In the sense that he's getting a 2-hour-long court hearing on June 10th. The deposition will be March 1st. We have that information. We're going to continue to talk about all of this. Patreon.com/Dave Neal. I'm going to go run to the bathroom. I'll be back in 5 minutes. Bye, everybody. Thank you for your time.